Reader is Dralandra Larkins. She's an award-winning spoken word poet, teaching artist at Compass, and the recipient of the Minnesota State Arts Board grant. She's featured in publications including the League of Minnesota Poets Agates Anthology, Tupelo Press, Minnesota Women's Press, and Insight News. She has performed for the NAACP Button Poetry at the Minnesota State Capitol and the Mill City Museum. Her poetry audiobook will be published this June 2025. She can be found at dralandrawrites.com. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dralandra Larkins. I'm a spoken word poet in Minneapolis. Thank you, Joshua, for curating this reading. I'm really happy to be here. This first piece that I'm going to read is called Coil, My Crown is My Garden. Is anyone familiar with the Crown Act? So the Crown Act is a law that prohibits hair discrimination in the workplace for Afro-textured hair or curly hair folks. And so this poem is a response to that law. If I can find it. Okay, well, I have it memorized. Okay, here it is. Remember when India Ari sung, "Don't need your silicone, I prefer my own, what God gave me is just fine. My kinks and coils don't need to be defined, sleeked nor greased. My afro grows and flows up and outwardly, stretching the laws of science, defying gravity. I am magical, and the world lives inside me. My hair reflects God's nature. It's the texture of thick bark on trees. Just hydrate my strands with rain, castor oil, cocoa butter, and baby, I smell like a sweet honeybee. My 4C is lovely because it's phenomenally made beautiful. I was kissed by the king who nourished my roots in holy water down to the cuticle, the follicle. My crown is my garden, and each seed that I plant, the coil blossoms strong and abundantly, beyond the white soil of embedded conditioning, taught to think that nappy is dreadful, to feel ashamed of 4C hair that can't be contained with their bobby pins. And so our sister locks don't bend to Western beauty conformity. As I rebel like Angela and march for peace, my curls and coils be dancing in the wind so boldly and free. My magnificent hair was created to wander and to stare in orbit, and stardust, and black infinity, for all to see that the standard is kinky, it's coily, don't need your silicone, I prefer my own, what God gave me is just fine. So I sing the song like India Ari, cause I am, will be, naturally me. All right, so the next piece is called I'm Black. So in honor of Black History Month, thank you. Okay, so in honor of Black History Month, this poem is about Black heritage, Black history, Black culture. And this is the poem that I usually like to introduce myself with, just because it embodies everything that I am. So I'm Black. I'm Black. Blacker than you can understand. I come from goddesses who wore their essence in the palms of their hands, always uplifting sisters like no other can. I wear the virtue, breathe life into my brothers like no other man, cause I am love and light. Come look into my sight and see my reflection. My brown-skinned mother gave birth to me so I could give birth to a new generation of African queens who inspired to create meaningful inspiration. And I never embrace hatred. I got sister blood and soul all over my shoelaces. And if you tie those together, it reveals my true genes and my true nature. Right. I'm Black like West African women with thick hips and full lips, like single mothers with tight fists, like fried eggs and cornbread, jollof rice, jerk chicken, fish chips, and grits, cause this is soul food, y'all. You know, soul food. I'm black like coffee with no cream. Black like silent screams, Dr. King's I have a dream, let freedom ring. I'm just black. Black enough to fight for civil rights. Black enough to reflect the light. Black enough to broadcast my pride like Sojourner Truth. Ain't I a woman? Black enough so that when these words touch, they leave fingerprints on your very soul. So how black? Black enough so that when these words touch, they leave fingerprints on your very soul. I'm black from within. Ancestors who unlock the mystery that lies between Genesis and Revelations. Black enough to stick up like a sore thumb and represent a new nation. Black enough to spot and think before I speak. I'm black enough to absorb more than just heat. See, this is knowledge and and wisdom. Understand me, see. I'm proud African American, richness in my melanin, mocha skin, the king's men, you know it's legit, because fight the powers in the blood of my heritage, with a little bit of civil rights, Assata Shakur, single black mothers in a struggle, hip hop, Tupac, Jay-Z is a hard knock, Motown, James Brown, James Baldwin, Huey, Colin Kaepernick, Trayvon Martin, Harriet, Ketanji Brown, Bell Hooks, Rena Moran, Sandra Bland, and Malcolm X will be the keeper to my brother man. See, when I pass on another individual, I would so lovingly, so proudly, unapologetically say, baby, you're black, blacker than you'll ever understand. So I was awarded my first grant from the Minnesota State Arts Board to publish my first poetry manuscript. And so I've been doing a lot of like history or like, just like interviewing people in my family and learning about like my family history. And in one of those interviews, my grandmother came up, her name is Jimmy Lee Lloyd, and she died when I was about 5 years old. And so I never really got a chance to really meet her and understand who she was as a woman. And so I wrote a poem about her, and so it's called White Bible. History stares back at me through the obituary. Black as slavery. Her hands calloused, blistered fingertips and worn, pain in her eyes without a heart of storms, hair springing in freedom towards heaven, smiling. My grandmother, Jimmy Lee Lloyd, born in Jim Crow, Mississippi, 1945, 40 miles from where 14-year-old Emmett Till was murdered by lynching in Sunflower County, same county I was born in the same year Nazi Germany surrendered. Birthed into this world during hard times with hard labor. She worked at a fish plant kneading raw catfish with Lowry seasoned salt, paprika and coriander and black pepper for her own family. Like most soldiers, she died on her soul, alone. Death struck before I understood what dying meant. Her heart attacked, then destiny claimed her. Her will just wasn't enough. But she sent for me in a dream once, where my memories of her still reside. She said, since I wasn't there for you on earth, child, I'll protect you now as your forever spirit guide. After her death, Mama was gifted her holy white Bible. Hold on. I don't know. Okay, so I'm the poem is here. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. Some of the poem is missing over there.
I've done that.
If you can't find it, can you tell us the story?
Okay. After her death, Mama was gifted her holy white Bible. In the pages of her Bible, memories are kept. Notes of her love for the Lord stained in between texts. Mama keeps it safe and sheltered in a wooden cupboard. Grandmother's Bible, now a sanctuary for precious items, Mama protects in scripture. When my second eldest brother got his first haircut at 12, Mama swept strands of raven woolly hair from the kitchen floor and placed it in Genesis as a bookmark. When our cat Lucy tooth fell out his mouth from an angry encounter with the veterinarian, she placed it in a small pouch in Psalms. This Bible has been in our family for over 20 years. Mama continues to place offerings in the Bibles, buries them deeply between passages. Not a page has been neglected. And in return, Grandma offers her love through scripture, where she keeps us covered and protected. Okay, this next one is called my name, Dralandra. And so again, just exploring family history, I learned like the meaning of my name and kind of where it comes from. And so this is a poem about my name. There's a tradition in my family, on my mother's side of the family, where everyone names begin with the letter D or P. My father favored his niece Sherlandra, and in honor, he named me Dralandra. Because my name lacks a documented, conventional, or traditional meaning, names in my community are often stereotyped as ghetto, ridiculous, or even absurd. Someone once told me my name sounds like drugs. My name played in high and low bass and blues like the Goma drum. Is it too much rhythm and groove in my name, or has culture got your tongue? When you say Dralandra, can't you taste my mother's blood? Her sweat, 36 hours of labor on a Sunday, knees bent in prayer. Can't you see I'm the manifestation of my mother's love? West Side Chicago's growls of the beast, gutter and grit. Sugarcane slang from Mississippi. I'm a shot of irk and jerk sitting pretty on a pool stick, a lemon and sweet tea. I'm talking cookout, good old deep fried ebonics, sweet potato pronunciation, collard green fed diction, and watermelon slang to hang out your mouth. Code switching couldn't swipe my speech clean from the dirty South. This is Q City speaking. My diction is radical resistance. Dralandra is the toil of my daddy's sharecropping blues. He wore white men's shoes, left school in the 3rd grade and picked cotton for dollars less than 5. Dralandra is fists held high in protest, waving like a flag, elbows united, tear gas and mass. Dralandra is nasty, nappy vernacular. Vows that knot and coil around your throat, forces you to remember the screams of howling black bodies hung above the bonfire before the picnic. To remember their shackled teeth biting beneath a buried native tongue. These are the effects and wildfires of colonization, burning through the fabrics of my heritage and history, stomping its dirty boots of trafficking and migration to extinguish my culture, fabricating parts of it. But there's a riot rising from my esophagus. My tonsil is a trumpet. It plays over marching footsteps and ad-libs of Negro spirituals. This is poetic tongue that I'm speaking it lyrical. When you summon my name, you begin a ritual. Dralandra is an awakening, a lioness who discovers her roar causes earthquakes, says I'm a natural disaster, a force of restoration to be reckoned with. I won't conform to your corruption, fragile opinions, visions, or expectations. I remove veils and escape the matrix. This ain't some artificial version of me I'm waiting to become. I'm Langston Hughes, rhythm and blues, Baldwin's native son. Okay, so this next piece, again in honor of Black History Month, this is called True Colors of the Sun, and it's just talking about Black heritage. My people, we are a quilted blanket of beautiful African hues, a broad palette of melanin shades. We are children of the sun, sons and daughters of the rainbow, who seek shelter in the rain, absorbs radiation, anchors us to the earth. Like velvet petunias, my people still bloom even when buried in dirt. We are vitamins, we revitalize this earth. Nature lives in our skin. More than pigment, we exist everywhere. In water, and the heavens, galaxies, even trees reflect our woolly hair. Melanin is found in everything that breathes, because we will breathe. Where there is melanin, where there are true colors of the sun, the creator is also. We are black diamonds shining in the hues of the cosmos. Okay, this next piece is called Surrender. I've always had the urge to control things. The dictator in my head was a control freak, and I never allowed myself to breathe. Micromanage every inch of my life and refused to bask in the luxury of being seen. I demanded to be in charge. I was a battery in overdrive, draining in this wheel of life because life is hard. Even dictators have scars. But I didn't know the meaning of rest. I was too booked and busy, overachieving the next, a perfectionist, careful not to cut my crooked smile and distort my bliss on my jagged edges, too scared of making mistakes or to embrace this body, this miracle of life, constantly anxious, worried that if things weren't done my way, they would fall apart. I didn't trust the universe in this purpose called art. I didn't see the pigment of possibility on a palette of miracles. I had to learn how to groove in the moment of mystery, feel the strokes of spontaneity. I feared the unknown and lived 26 years of my life through lens of limitation. I was more machine than human, more head than heart, more fear than fire, more them than me, caught in my own trap of being everyone's hero than living free. So I fashioned myself to fit expectations. I had to learn how to be the voice, the violin that played my own validation. So I colored outside the lines, unpacked the layers and lies of childhood trauma, remapped self-love, scribbled beyond the margins of madness of heartbreak and said yes to self, yes to collaboration and accepting help. I don't want to collapse and break like an overwrought machine every time life throws rust and corrosion gets on pieces I can't clean. I'm learning to accept the mess, to accept when I don't have 100 to give, to show up as myself, even if it's at my worst and not my best. It's okay to take a bow and bend. I don't need to pretend. I'm learning how to be soft, how to move my thoughts to calmer waters when I feel isolated, stagnant, or lost. I'm opening the shredded windows of my soul, inviting vulnerability in. I'm learning how to take off the pressure, turn on the lights of gratitude, unwind the stress, shut the folding doors of my eyelids, and dance until my heels are warm with joy pouring from my breast, enjoying peace and a piece of rest. Okay, I have two more. One second, I have to find it here. Okay, this is called Carrying Me Back Home. Empathy had me feeling empty. I poured into the cups of others reciprocity, while the recipe of my soul starved for sweet generosity. I forgot to dust myself from despairs. Stressed about everyone's problem caused me to overthink and create scenarios in my head that weren't there. So I picked myself up and carried me back home, scribbled my sorrow on the page and turned my pain into poems. I had to summon my strength, believe in my abilities, and unbecome all I've ever known. I removed squares from my circle and learned to balance my emotions. I started to breathe with intention and got intentional with my focus. Cried so many tears, they formed as an ocean. But now, using my heart as a compass, I wasn't searching or hopeless. I was tired of clenching the rope that kept me bonded to my past. It was time to release the thoughts of who rejected me, who wasn't there, and what didn't last. I was a growing woman, blossoming on from friends and habits that I've surpassed. It was time to face judgment and the falls, because I had given away so much, if not all. It was time to stop adding anesthesia to the pain, to rip the Band-Aid and stop hiding scars of shame. So I'm using every experience to lift my voice and speak, to tell my story and inspire those who may need me. It took some realigning my heart, some redefining who I am and believing in myself. So I'm headed back to the base alone, picking me up and carrying me back home. And then this is the last piece called A Letter to Love Yourself. So I always like to end my performances with this letter. It's a love note, it's an affirmation poem, and I just think it's a good message to always leave with folks. So A Letter to Love Yourself. Love yourself. Do not believe society's concept of beauty, because truly, you are a masterpiece. Created by the master God, you are beautiful. Your skin and bone human, you're not made of metaphors, but your strength is fire. It's never ending, it doesn't burn out. Let no one hold your power. You're the queen, king of your tower. Breathe. So you found the strength to keep going, so hold on just a little longer. What doesn't kill you makes you a conqueror. So you've got to be brave. David conquered your Goliath and slay. Just love yourself. And nah, I'm not talking about buying a new pair of shoes with your fresh paper cuts or your brows on fleek, edges sleek, so you shared a tweet and now you're feeling yourself. I'm talking about healing yourself from the roots of your core. Because if you won't acknowledge who you truly are, then what is your purpose for? So this, it's a society that made you feel like you're black is not a boastful believer. And this, it's a society that made you feel unsatisfied with the skin you're in. Fall in love with your imperfections. Skin, smile, face, collarbones. You are a blessing, and don't second guess this. Because I absolutely, indefinitely, wholeheartedly love me unconditionally. Do not believe society's concept of beauty, because truly, you are a masterpiece. Thanks so much. Thanks, Joshua.
Thank you, everyone, for coming tonight. Just say in passing, I don't know when we're going to be doing the next one. We may try to squeeze one in before the summer, because getting people to commit to show up in the summer is just a non-starter usually. So just keep your eyes on the library site for this or other great programs that they do here. We will, the poets will be available in the back to, people can kind of mill around and nosh, but we should start heading downstairs by, like 5 to 8 or something. So, let me see. I was gonna leave with an affirmation, but I don't know if this thing works. Oh well, I won't. So.
We did already.
Yeah, we did have an affirmation. I always feel like singing after Dralandra reads, though. So I'll do a quick one. I usually actually sing this at the end of that last poem that I read, but I was feeling too self-indulgent. But Dralandra was singing, so I just tweaked the words for this one. It's just called Walk in Beauty, simple and short. So take my hand. That's how the poem ends. Take this hand and walk with me. Walk in beauty. Walk, I will walk in beauty. Though your light is failing, the moon that guides you waning, though vicious winds are wailing, and though your heart is ailing, still we walk in beauty, still we walk in beauty. We shall walk in beauty, we shall walk in beauty. Morning sun still rising, dew on grass still shining, wind through trees is chiming, and bird song twill comes flying, and we walk in beauty, and we walk in beauty. We shall walk in beauty, we shall walk in beauty. The broken bell keeps tolling, the river damned is rolling. Let stillness call the soul in, and feel that grace come flowing. And we walk in beauty, still we walk in beauty. We shall walk in beauty. We shall walk in beauty. We shall walk in